again. So I'm finally getting around to recording this. I've actually recorded this video several times, but it's basically I bought a whole bunch of eyeshadows from a bunch of different companies in, let's say, late winter, early spring of 2015. But anyway, let's get started. I'm going to do this starting with the products that I least like and working my way up to the ones that I like the best. And my first, so the lowest rung, the loser of this group, is the Makeup Geek shadows. I bought these four shadows, and they're all mattes, and the colors are beautiful. And I think that they probably do have some appeal for YouTubers, but they're not really usable in real life, in my opinion. Here's why. Number one, they fall out. And not only do they fall out like when you're using them, they fall out and fall out and fall out, but they continue to fall out after you finish doing your makeup. I had this when I was using a primer first and a setting spray, by which I mean Urban Decay's All Nighter. They also fall out when they're just sitting here. So I have them quarantined in this little matte quad because they just spew off particles, and that's especially devastating with the black one because Corrupt just throws off. I mean, honestly, there's a little pile of particles beside that thing, even from like just sitting on a flat surface in a still room, and it just is like, woohoo, party time! Yeah, so obviously that tends to make a mess out of your palettes, so I keep them quarantined in their own little palette. I can't really use something that's going to fall out that much, even after, you know, you've cleaned it up 5 times, you've got all your makeup on, you think it's all set and everything, and then you're walking around at your party and you look at your makeup and it's like black or whatever color it is. Of course, this one, which also falls out horribly, is so close to my skin tone that it's not really very noticeable. But this one is especially bad for the next problem which I have with this product, which is texture. This has a really, really crepey finish. It adds 20 years to my eyelids, and maybe if you're 18 that doesn't matter to you, but anybody over 30 is probably not going to be really into that. It doesn't pick up so much on, well, obviously not on my camera because my camera is not very good. A really, really high def camera close up might pick it up, but you definitely see it in real life. So in general, it's just a big fail. The colors suck you in because they're really pretty. In particular, I love this one, Bitten. I love the color of it, but it's just too much of a mess to work with. I was talking to another makeup artist about this because we have both been looking for this color. She said, well, it blends really well, maybe a little too well. And I was like, I know exactly what you mean, because you get very good movement with it. And I would say that's true of all of these, but it doesn't stop moving. Like, so after you're finished blending, you kind of want things to stay where you've put them. And it just sort of keeps moving, and you do also get a bit of fade, actually. Let's just say there's more to formulation than just sticking a lot of pigment in some. Okay, so why are YouTubers talking these products to the high heavens? Well, the most charitable explanation, and I'm sure this is true in some cases, is that it is quite a nice, I mean, the colors are great. They pick up fantastically on video. They look great because they're quite intense and they're good colors. And if you're videotaping, you can clean up the fallout and you can edit it out so that your viewers don't have to watch you clean fallout off your face, you know, 6 or 7 times. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us don't bother wearing our makeup out after we've done our YouTube videos. Lots of us wash it off. I typically wash all my makeup off my face after I'm finished doing a video. As a YouTuber, if your principal purpose is to make videos with it, you don't really care that much, and the colors are nice on video. So I could sort of see that. That's the charitable explanation. The other explanation, and I have no illusions, I know that this is true in many cases, is that Makeup Geek is paying people to say that they like their products, or giving people so much free stuff that they feel obliged to like them. I mean, there's a psychological thing. This is a documented psychological fact that people who get things for free or have a material benefit associated with something are incapable of being objective about them. Then there are the people that make money either because Makeup Geek is paying them directly, as I said, or because they have an affiliate link with Makeup Geek so that when you go through their link and buy stuff, they get paid. And all of this amounts to, I would call it pretty dishonest practice, because they should be disclosing to that to you, and I have not seen a single YouTuber do that. I mean, the products themselves are just, in real life, they're just not usable. I can't imagine that the sparkly ones are less fallouty than those. So save your money and buy something else. The next one on the list is Mehron. These are all matte shadows. They're the intense ones. When they arrived, I bought them from CRC. The packaging looked a little whatever, and the surface of the products themselves looked disturbed, like somebody had used them. So I'm not really sure who to blame for that. That's probably a CRC issue, because I have had other issues with them. I don't know. Anyway, I sterilized them just to be sure. And I've used them all. They work okay. They're not super pigmented, but they're all right. I don't get awesome texture out of them, because when you're trying to build up the pigmentation, then you get a little bit of that not very good texture either. And there is a bit of fading with them as well. But the big problem I had was that one of these two I reacted to. I'm not sure which one, because I was wearing it on both occasions that I had the reaction. If they were super performers, and I love them other ways, I would probably put up with the fact that I reacted to them, or try harder to figure out which one of them it was. But they weren't really, and they're not super cheap. Those were, I think, $80 American, so that's not giving it away. And they were just meh. They were just okay. I don't think I would buy another Mehron shadow. I don't think, or not one of these anyways, based on my experience with these ones. So those were kind of like meh. The next one I actually found more usable, but I can't use it because it didn't have an ingredients list. Okay, don't get me started on companies that don't pack ingredients lists. It's the law. They should be doing so. And when somebody puts out a product for a consumer that doesn't have an ingredients list, it puts little red lights that it's not a good company. That's my suspicion, because they're either unaware of the law or they just don't care. Either way, that's not somebody I feel safe accepting makeup products from. You know what I'm saying? And it was particularly problematic because, I mean, obviously I can't use this product on somebody else if I don't know what's in it. That's just unethical. The product, and this is absolutely nothing against this YouTuber, the YouTuber who did this product is in conjunction with Real Style, is lovely. She's a really talented makeup artist, and you should check her out. I'll put a link to her channel down below. Her name is Wildcat. The colors themselves are lovely, I mean, to look at in the pan, but had some bad experiences with the company. I'm assuming that's all Real Style's fault. I'll link also to some videos about Real Style. Warning, if you're thinking about buying something from them, don't bother. And if you're a YouTuber thinking about getting involved with them in a business capacity, please don't, or at least look around at some of the videos so you know what you're getting into. I don't think they're a very good company. The product itself, no ingredients list, so right away I'm like, hey, but of course I'm gonna experiment with it on myself. Not super pigmented. Sorry, I'll put a picture of it up if I have one. It's the one that I lost. Not super pigmented, blends pretty nicely. It's a liminal sort of product. You can use it as a transition, and it's actually quite usable in that way. And I didn't react to it, unlike the Mehron products, so that's a plus. But the product came, and it's so obvious that they had peeled some other label off the bottom and just stuck a sort of a home printer job label with her name on it, or with the Cicatrix, which is the name of the color. Big marks for the name colors, by the way. Wildcat, awesome. And then the top also the same thing. There had been some other label there. They'd taken it off and printed something over top of it, Wildcat makeup or something like that. So it's pretty obvious that this is a wholesale product that's being relabeled and redistributed. And yeah, well, why am I paying? I'm paying $7 for something that's probably costing pennies to produce and isn't especially special. It's an okay product, but I won't be buying anything from Real Style again. If Wildcat comes out with her own line, we'll talk, because I don't think this is her fault at all. But that's your big caveat for Real Style. I wouldn't buy anything else from them ever again. But I would buy something from Wildcat. Okay, so that was a sort of tied for second to bottom rung with the Mehron one. I mean, I can't use it if it doesn't have an ingredients list, but it was a pretty usable product. And I also have kind of a tie for top rung, but the price difference is what really makes the the break between these two. So we'll say in the almost top rung is this Inglot shadow. This is the 102R, and it's got 3 colors in a similar family. Quite nice, quite pigmented, blendable, reasonably long lasting, but they move around. That is one thing I will say about these shadows. Do move around a little bit after you got them where you want them, and fade a little bit. They're not as good, in spite of what everybody says. I don't believe that Inglot shadows, even these single ones, are as good as the MAC shadows. Well, like, they're really not, but they are good, and they have such a fantastic color range, which is the real strength of Inglot, I would say. So this one's, you know, it's pretty good. Costs me quite more than I want to admit, because I bought it in Dubai, so never mind that. But if you're buying the rainbows in the United States, I want to say these are $9, I think. They're not too bad for getting 3 shadows, and there's quite a bit of product in here. 2.5 grams of product in here. But top marks go to the similarly performing coastal scents, and I will say that they perform a little bit better, but they're not quite as pigmented. So the pigmentation in these shadows is a little bit less than this one, but these shadows are more buildable, I think, or you can build them up and you don't have, or I didn't have texture problems with them, and I think they wear at least as well as the Inglot shadows, and they are like a fraction of the price. These shadows cost me $2 American each. That's when they're on sale, 98 cents. So this one is Oktoberfest, right there. And this one is the Inglot, bottom color on the Inglot. Now, they're not identical colors, but the intensity is pretty close. This one's a little more blendy. So you kind of, when you blend it out, then you kind of have to build it up a bit more. Than this one is a bit more intense. But performance-wise, pretty comparable, except I would say that you kind of have to build these up a little bit more to get the intent. Actually, Oktoberfest is a pretty intense one. They probably vary a little bit depending on what kind of color they are. I just want to say I would definitely buy more Inglot colors because of the color range is so fantastic, and I will absolutely buy more of these coastal scent shadows, which are just a screaming deal. I don't know why more people don't rave about them on YouTube, except maybe because they're not getting paid. But it really does just suck that a product like this that outperforms the pants off of these costs a fraction. Like this is 3 times more expensive than this, or 6 times more expensive if you get these on sale. And none of the major YouTubers talk about it. They talk about Morphe probably also because Morphe is paying them to do so. Be really careful about who you listen to. I hate to say that because it sounds like, you know, I'm trying to be mean to other YouTubers. I'm not trying to be mean to other YouTubers. I just wish they were more honest about when they're getting paid to promote stuff. I'm not. Nobody gave me anything for free. I paid for everything. And I bought all these shadows basically so I could review them for you. Anyway, this is the world's longest product review video. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for watching it, and I hope that it was something useful in there for you. And yeah, we'll see you again next time. Bye.